This time on the Driver's Corner, we surprise my daughter with this Jeep. Stay tuned.
What is that? Wait, is that for me? I'm gonna cry. Oh my god! What is this? Is this for real?
All right, so as you can tell from the video, she was pretty excited. We picked up this 2006 Jeep Wrangler X off of Facebook Marketplace. It needs some work, as you can see, kind of some janky welding on the back bumper there. Overall, it was pretty dirty, but with low miles, 61,000 miles on this Jeep. And it has some stuff that kind of made it desirable for us, even though we ended up pulling off a bunch of it and swapping it out, as you'll see later in the video. So overall, not too bad. She's got a little bit of surface rust in some areas on some of the hood stuff and the hardware. And ultimately, we decided to just kind of make it our own. So we showed my eldest some pictures online and decided to start fixing the Jeep up as best as we could. So started with a giant clean. That's what you have to do first, is always clean your vehicle when you buy it, and it really helps you see what you bought. So this one's got a really cheap lift on it. It's just spacers on the springs and then air shocks. So that's going to be changed out at a later date. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but you'll see here in the video all the stuff that we did end up doing to make this thing look like she wanted the Jeep to look. It was a little bit too manly or whatever for her taste, so that's kind of where we ended up. So she took off that Angry Bird grill. She wasn't a big fan of that. She didn't like the light bar either. We did like the fender flares. Those are Warrior Products fender flares and the rock sliders that were on there. She wasn't a big fan of the Freedom hard top. So that hard top, the center section came out over the driver's seat and then the back would remain, but she wanted the soft top option. So in this video here, you can see I am meticulously going around and putting navel jelly on every single one of the bolts, the hardware that's around the windshield and everywhere. I end up painting that stuff later, painting it black to kind of match the side pieces, but basically trying to get rid of any signs of rust or anything that makes the Jeep look kind of trashy. So very meticulous with the paintbrush there. The whole family kind of pitched in, which was great. So everybody was out there working. My oldest daughter, it's her Jeep, and she spent most of the day trying to get the top clean. In retrospect, I think we probably should have just purchased a new top. There's my youngest. She was helpful as well, mainly to watch the dog. But getting her all cleaned up. I had to order a bunch of parts, so this was weird too. It came, I don't know if you saw the original picture, but it came with side steps as well as the rock sliders, which looked incredibly stupid. So I was working on pulling those off, but somebody had modified the body mount in order to put these on. So it was a real pain, and I ended up having to kind of cut some pieces and grind some stuff off. There's my youngest doing some rust on the bolts, so she's doing detail work, which was super cool. While I'm struggling with the other side, you'll see here in a minute, I end up getting out the grinder and working on that stuff. So we changed out the wheels. You'll see that here in a minute. We went with a set of gear wheels. I'd never heard of those before, but they were inexpensive. They're way heavier than these stock Gladiator wheels that were on it. So that was kind of disappointing, but overall the look is much better and the offset's correct. So these Gladiator wheels were installed using a spacer, like an adapter, and was not a big fan of that. And it made the Jeep feel kind of unstable, so it was a little tippy. These are 33-inch tires on there, so they're a 285/70 17, and I did keep the tires. Those are the Falcon Wild Peak ATs, which I'm going to do a tire review on those if you guys are interested. I've been running them for about 30,000 miles on my Titan, and I was pleased that they were on this as well because they're kind of my go-to tire of choice now for my trucks and anything that, you know, might see some off-road use. So those are the Wild Peak AT. There's the dog. All right, so here she is cleaning up, doing some stuff. I went ahead and painted all these hinges as well. Somebody had already done it once, but I used a stronger paint and just kind of finishing out the theme, the black and yellow theme, the bumblebee or sunflower, whatever you want to call it. I'm rolling those fenders right there with some Rust-Oleum. I sanded them first. I did not primer. I just sanded and then rolled on this Rust-Oleum paint that you can get anywhere, like a Lowe's or Home Depot, probably Walmart even. I've used it on my boat trailer. I've used it on lots of things, frame stuff, suspension pieces, and it works fantastic and it's tough as nails. So once that stuff dries, it's not coming off. So I just rolled it on. There she is trying to clean off some windows that didn't end up fitting the top that came with it.
Thank you that I wasn't on the last one.
So here we are the next morning. It's all painted up, cleaned up pretty nice, and we're waiting on some parts. So I ordered new bumpers. She didn't want these tube style bumpers, so I ordered new. And plus that thing stuck out really far. She's not gonna do some serious off-roading with this, so it was kind of unnecessary. Those are the wheels. Those are the gear wheels I mentioned earlier. I was waiting for the group from Freedom Tire guys to come and do this Jeep like they did the other one. So I installed a mount for the back tire. This one didn't come with a mount for it. So this is like for extra large wheels and stuff. And so I got that as well as the snubbers and stuff that came in. I put those on later. But overall, I also painted that top rail. You can kind of see that where it's black. It wasn't black before, but a lot of the paint had rubbed off there from years of taking the top on and off. So I also did that with that Rust-Oleum, which came out really nice. Kind of fills out the look. Put a new back bar on there and just waiting on parts for the rest of this portion right here. All right, so here you can see the Freedom Tire guys showed up to sort out my wheel and tire situation there. These guys come right to your house or your work or whatever. You might have seen them in the other video I did with the Corvette where they installed the wheels and tires in the snow in my driveway, which was pretty awesome. So they did a great job on these as well. I made sure that everything was good and even pointed out where one of my studs needed to be replaced. So really thankful for them. And here's the final product. So this is kind of what we ended up with. I've got a couple more things to do to make it perfect. I got to get those snubbers spaced out so they hold the spare tire a little bit right there. She ordered a tire cover for the back, and I've got that lift situation to take care of. We did get the soft top on. I got the new soft door tops on there, some grill inserts, a little Jeep sway bar cover, and I'll tell you right now, this is literally her dream. So it was a pretty awesome moment for me as a father to see my oldest daughter just get really excited for the first time ever about a car. And we've had a lot of cars come in and out of our household, but this one's for her. It's hers, and she loves it. So I couldn't be more happy for her. Really excited. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you'll see some more videos of this Jeep down the road.